Whether you want to call it passion or you want to call it interest, I don't care how you define it. To me, passion is the things that make you happy, the things you love to do, the things you would do for free if you could do it all the time. Let's talk about passion today. It's great to be back in the office to record today's video. Last week, quick video while I was out in Vegas for a conference, and excited to just be home, back in the normal routine. We've got beautiful weather. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the sunlight hitting me on the side of the face. And I want to talk about passion in today's episode of The Pursuit. Now, the reason for that is obviously passion is an important part of pursuit. PRST, the P stands for passion. And as I am early in the beginning stages of building out pursuit and what it will become in the future, one of the things I'm struggling with as I talk to people is kind of having a clear, concise message about what pursuit is. And truthfully, I'm still figuring out exactly how to communicate. I know what I want the brand to be and to become and what it means to me and what it hopefully will mean to all of you, but I'm still fine-tuning that message. And truthfully, may even be fine-tuning who exactly is the right audience for pursuit. I am in a stage right now where I want to help everybody live a better life, and I believe passion can help find that. And we're going to dive a little bit more into that here in a moment. But what I may realize over time is that my message, the way I deliver it and who it resonates with, the frequency that it's on, may not be for everybody. And ultimately, I have to be okay with that. But right now, I'm in the I want to change the world phase, and pursuit can do that. So I want everybody to hear the message and everybody to discover this and learn it their own way. And that may not be where this ends up 5 months, 6 months, a year down the road. The beauty of it is, and what I'm trying to do right now, is be more in the moment, be more present with pursuit and the things that I'm doing, and not worry about where does this go in the future, but just enjoy the moment of creating this podcast, creating this video, whatever it may be that I'm doing, and let those things just be, and then pursuit will become what it's supposed to be. And it's kind of hard because I'm excited about this. I'm excited about where it goes, the balance between RLS Wealth and Pursuit and where they overlap and how they connect, how I can bring the topics of passion to my clients and help them with their planning. And it just really makes me excited and kind of want to fast forward to where it's bigger. But at the same time, I don't want to miss out on these moments. And again, really enjoying the moment of creating this specific podcast, having this specific conversation. So let's get to this specific conversation. And one of the reasons I want to talk about passion is I am reading 2 books right now. I kind of go back and forth between books. I'm reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which is a book that right out the gate blew me away, as so many books are doing these days. I don't know if I'm just easy to impress or I'm just finding the right books at the right time. And I'm also reading So Good They Can't Ignore You. And I've talked about this book before by Cal Newport. This is going to be where we're talking less about Eckhart Tolle's book. But I did want to share one cool thing. We'll call it a thing. So today is, May 13th, Friday the 13th. Kendrick Lamar's new album came out. You all know I'm a big Kendrick fan. Have been waiting on this album for 5 years. And the last week, just it's been like Christmas, waiting for this to drop. And as I'm listening to it this morning, I tweeted this out. I put on my personal Instagram as well. As I'm listening this morning, twice in the first 3 or 4 songs, I hear Kendrick or somebody on his album mention Eckhart Tolle. There's actually one segment where he's talking with who I assume is his wife. She says he needs to go to therapy, and she says, you need to go talk to Eckhart. And I'm just like I just started reading The Power of Now after knowing about the book for years and just kind of not really being interested in it. And then now I get it today. I read it now. I start reading it on Monday, and on Friday, multiple times, the Kendrick Lamar album I've been waiting for. Somebody I appreciate his creativity, his artistry, his him as an individual, from what I know of him, mentions the book indirectly, mentions the author multiple times early on in the album. So to me, that's just another, whether you call it law of vibrations or frequencies, but just, me being on the right wavelength. And I look at it, my wife asked me, what does that mean? I said, I don't know what it means. It may not mean much at all, but I think if at minimum, it's telling me, keep going, keep pursuing the path that I'm on because I'm heading in the right direction. It's these little signs that would be very easy to miss. So anyways, I'm reading 2 books. We'll get back to today's episode. I just wanted to share that cool experience. One more sidebar before we get there. Sorry, you guys are used to this by now. the reason for sharing that is there are things that I have learned, recognized, uncovered over the last year that will find their ways into pursuit. And I don't know quite yet how to introduce them, how to explain them. And honestly, I don't know enough about them to be in a position to educate people on them. But I am in a position to where I can share my own experiences of what people would call coincidences that I don't believe in anymore. I don't believe in coincidences, but share those with you as examples of how the universe, or your pick your favorite divine individual or divine being, communicates with us to give us signs. It's the number 36 on the logo behind me. It's the bald eagles I see all the time now. It's reading Eckhart Tolle the week of the album coming out and it being mentioned by someone that I think is on a whole new spiritual level that I'm trying to ascend to, mentioning that book, just telling you to keep going. So that's why I share these instances. Over time, I might be able to educate more about them or bring people on and how they follow in or fall into your pursuit. But now I can just share my experiences with you so you can be on the lookout for your own experiences. And I think once you experience these events, you will understand them more, you will look for them more, you might do your own research and begin to uncover some of the things that I've uncovered and pull them into your pursuit. So that's the reason. Now we can finally get to today's episode, however many minutes in of me rambling. So the reason I want to talk about passion today is this book. And I've mentioned it before on some of the past episodes, but I don't assume everybody listens to Every Daily Pursuit. But I have not finished the book yet, and I'm just very early on in it. But what caught my eye about it, the reason I purchased it, was catching a highlight of the book that basically Cal Newport says, well, the subtitle, Why Skills Trump Passion in the Quest for Work You Love. And they bold skills and work. So he's got my favorite word, passion, in the title. And the premise behind it basically is that following your passion is a misleading statement, that people who say you should follow your passion are painting a picture that's not realistic. And it kind of goes into an absolute statement that you can't follow your passion to live the life that you want or find the career that you want. I don't believe in absolutes because I think different approaches work for different people. For some individuals, as Cal suggests, finding something you're good at and doing it will bring passion to you. And I think that is a possibility for some. For others, that's not the right way. Just doing something will never bring passion because doing something they're good at may not make them happy. There's things that I am good at that I don't enjoy, or things I could become good at that I don't enjoy that would never bring me passion because it's not something that I enjoy. While there are other things that I do enjoy, that I am passionate, that I believe if I follow will bring me to good things. And I haven't got far enough in to learn what Cal defines as kind of where we're going, if it's only career-centric or if it's life. My definition of passion is more about creating the life that you want, the life that you want, not the life that others have told you to want. And part of that is career. So I do think passion can lead you down a career path that brings more satisfaction and fulfillment in your job. But that's not the only way that I look to bring passion into our lives. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe you do need to do something that you just kind of enjoy or is just a check, but there's other areas in your life that you bring your passion to that when you put those together, it brings harmony and balance and you live a good life. So for me, one of the things I want to try to communicate better is, yes, I believe in following passion. Yes, I believe in bringing passion into your life, but that it's more about the bigger picture of creating a happier, more fulfilled life, one of minimal regret, not just the career. I think that sometimes it leads to that a lot because that's where we spend a lot of our time, but the career is not the only thing that's important in our life. The career can just be a means to an end that's a part of the story, and your passion centers around everything else. Maybe your passion, if we think about my goal to put the passions and your values at the center of your life and the center of your financial plan as an advisor and build around that, maybe you put your passions at the center. There's enough time to do the things that you want, and part of the financial plan is doing this career that you don't necessarily love to bring the income to support the passion. So I understand why there's an absolute in a book. A book is meant to sell. A book needs to have numbers. A book needs to have a strong stance that will ignite one side versus the other. And not in a bad way, but just it needs to be opinionated, that somebody wants to read to support their opinion, or somebody wants to read to challenge their own or to grow and learn. having a book that says there's all these different ways to do it, you choose your own adventure, probably won't sell very well. And that'll probably be the book that I write one day as I fine tune my message and get more experience through life and get more through pursuit. So I don't disagree with Cal. And actually, as I was thinking about the topic in preparation for having this podcast at some point, I knew this would be one that I would go over. I was looking at my own career, and this show on the Pursuit podcast channel, The Pursuit, is a connection between my personal journey and what I'm learning and kind of sharing and encouraging you along. So that's why you see a lot of my example or my life in these episodes. But when I look at my career as a financial advisor, I did not have a passion for it coming out of college. When I graduated college, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I've told this story in another podcast, so I won't take long, but going into my senior year, I met my now wife, and I realized I didn't want to try to go to law school and go to school for 3 more years, that she was special and that I just needed to be done with schooling and get to building my life. I went and majored in econ, minored in political science. I had 1 finance class. I went to a liberal arts school, so it was well-rounded, and it wasn't as focused if I went to a bigger school, went through like a business school like my wife did. I had 1 finance class. I got a C in it. And I got a C in it because I didn't care. I remember we were supposed to read Wall Street Journal articles and bring things in, and I just went through the motions. I took it in summer school. I just wanted to get the finance class out of the way because it didn't really interest me at the time. I graduate, do some networking, find the career financial advising. Thought it sounded interesting. I liked the idea of having more control over my schedule and mostly interacting with people and problem solving. So that's why I went down the path. I didn't even know I would be good at it, truthfully. Step back. I believed I would be successful in whatever it is I would do, but there was nothing that said, yes, I was going to be a good financial advisor. And for the first few years of my career being in the business, I really wasn't doing quality financial advising because there was no real training. There was no real roadmap. I was just figuring things out. And maybe 4 or 5 years into my career when I was at a 403B company is when I started to learn to become a financial advisor, and really when I fell in love with the profession and what it was that I was doing with my clients. So I share this to say that I wasn't passionate about being a financial advisor. I went into a career that sounded interesting and developed a passion for the work that I did, much as Cal Newport suggests. So I especially think early on in your career, and maybe you enter the workforce knowing more of who you are and what it is that you want to be. But I grew up wanting to be a basketball player, realized that wasn't going to be the case. Law school, for whatever reason, popped on the radar, and I didn't really know myself. So there wasn't a passion that I had besides basketball, and I knew I didn't want to coach and things along those lines that I could go into right out of college. So finding a career path, luckily one that I enjoyed, and luckily one that I could develop a passion for. So I lived what Cal Newport suggests. Again, I'm not through the book, and I'll do an update afterwards, but I can't say that he's wrong because that's what I lived, and I was lucky that that's what I lived. But where I do think he's wrong is, look at my future. I still am passionate about being a financial advisor, but I have other passions. Pursuit is one of them, which I think is so cool that my passion is building a business to encourage other people to incorporate more of their passions in their life to create a better life. I love that they're tied together. But creating is a passion of mine. And finding time to record podcasts and write and do videos and photography and art, whatever it is that comes up, whether it's me doing it or studying it, has become a passion of mine. And I don't know exactly where it takes me, but it has taken me here today to Pursuit and creating and having this message and telling this story and talking to others and trying to help more people do it through a creative form. Now, I'm never going to be as creative as, originally Distinct Dwayne, who was on a podcast a couple back. That's not my form of art yet. And some may say that recording podcasts and doing video work isn't art, but I think it is. It's storytelling just through a different venue. I would love to be able to create like that. And maybe one day I will as I grow as a creator and let more of my creative self be. But for now, my creating is what are the conversations, how to have them, shooting the documentary videos. That's an art form for me, and just creating. Creating doesn't have to be drawing on or painting on a canvas. It can be just putting yourself out there, finding creative ways to tell your story and go out there and just put your message out. So that's where I am as a creator. But that is passion-filled, and I am following it. I don't know exactly where it's going to take, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to create more in the moment and not create with a necessary game plan. The game plan comes in with the distribution of what I am to try to grow what I'm creating, to try to grow it. But I want to have this conversation today and not think about what does it mean for the future of pursuit or for me, but enjoy this conversation with you today and what it means to both of us today. So I've experienced what Cal talks about, but I also am experiencing a different going forward. I have a passion for these other things. I'm going to give myself space to follow them and see where they take me, and then incorporate them with my other passion of having my firm and being financial advisor, and other passions that fall in, family and all those things. If you look at my day every day today going forward, I have it pretty much filled with my passions. There's not a lot in there that I'm not passionate about that I'm finding time for. There's things in there I don't love, but housework and things of that sort. But for the most part, my work day, my downtime is spent doing things that I want to do and I have a passion for. And some have greater depths of passion. I may be more passionate about certain things, but at the end of the day, the things I'm doing, I love and I enjoy doing, and they would fall under the umbrella of passion. I really think about maybe 4 avatars that are out there that passion will come into them. And these are the people that I think when I want to change the world, I'm trying to create pursuit to speak to all of these individuals. So actually 3 of the 4. There's one individual I don't think that we would ever be able to reach. And this is an individual that they are just best living on the path that's created for them by society and their parents. We talked about blinders in the past, not taking the blinders off and just going on their path, not knowing there's more out there for them because they're happy, content, and they live a good life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But they're never going to think outside the box. And again, I don't say that in a negative way. That's not me, but the way I view life and the way I view things is not the right way for everybody. I don't believe in absolutes. So those individuals that have a path, don't want to get off of it, don't need to get off of it, pursuit's not going to be for them, and that's perfectly okay. Truthfully, it might be bad for them because it may disrupt their harmony that they have and make things worse for them, and they're just better off with the blinders on, plugging ahead, living life, and just doing what it is they do. So then we're never going to get to. I do believe there are people who are on that same path that if they knew there was a way to break out of the box, if they knew they had more control, if they knew there was more opportunity for them out there than what they had been told, that it would change their life for the better. So I want to, help them discover that, hey, those things that you think you might be interested in, that you might have a passion for, why don't you give them a little bit of love and some time and space and see what happens? There actually is a better life for you out there that you can go get, and no one's told you that before. So I want to tell you that. I want Pursuit to tell you that and open your eyes and remove those blinders a little bit and let you explore and experiment and see where it takes you. So that's one person. And passion, I think, helps lead them away off of that path that's beaten down by others that's not the right path for them. I think there's an individual out there that knows their passion. They know what it is they want to go do. Teach, volunteer, create, whatever it might be. They already know it's there. They know they're not happy in their life that they're living. They know there's a better life for them, but they don't have, I'm going to say permission, that's a strong word. They have not given themselves the permission to go follow it. They have not been told you're able to actually go do that. They've actually been told that, no, don't go follow your passion. Stay on the path that you're on because it's comfortable, it's safe, and why would you want anything else? Well, because anything else, that passion is going to create a better life. And I want Pursuit and me to be there to help that individual do the planning they need to do, but to create a way to allow that passion and the other life that they really want to become more of their reality, bringing it to it slowly and surely, letting it grow, and then transitioning off that path that they're on that's not right for them, and they know it's not right for them, to the right path. And I say all this, it's not easy. It's not without fear, but it's worth it, I believe, for that individual. And then there's the individual that has already kind of gone that direction. She's got her passion as a part of her life. It's starting to grow and become more. And now we need to take it to the next level. Maybe it is starting a career. Maybe it is being a complementary career. So you have 2 side hustles, or you have 2 part-time jobs you're doing. And when you put them together, they create the life. It just needs to be a bigger piece. They know the passion. They've given it space. It's a part of their life. And they're ready to take it to the next level. Passion leads in all of those They manifest themselves in different directions, different ways. They lead in different ways. For some of them, it might be do the thing that you're doing, get good, develop the passion. The person who's more advanced, they are on a path, they're doing something they're good at, they're not passionate about it, they're not happy. There is something else out there that they are passionate about, and it's about getting there. It's about lifting that, if you remember back in the day of the early days of pursuit, lifting the needle up on the record and moving it out to that other version of themselves so that reality can catch up to their subconscious. So that is why I'm so passionate about passion, is I think that when you listen to your heart, you follow that, which it is the passion, and you do things for the right reasons. You find ways to serve others. It's not all about yourself, but you follow those passions, then it's going to lead you to good things. The path may not always be the same. It may not be on your time, but at the end of the day, it's going to lead you where you're supposed to be because it's coming from your heart. Your heart is what fuels the passion. That's why I'm so excited about it, why I can't stop talking about it. How you find that passion, I don't care. My message is not you have to find your passion first and follow it. My message is you have to know what you're passionate about, what you love, what makes you happy, what allows you to be the best version of yourself so you can go be better for other people and incorporate more of that in your life. And how that comes into your life, I don't care. How big it gets to be, I don't care, because what I am about and what I want Pursuit to be about is helping people live a better life, more fulfilled, happier, make greater impact, minimize the regret, and letting passion guide that life to them. Again, it can be in different ways. Passion could be everything that they do. It could be a part of it. It can complement. It doesn't matter. I don't believe there's one right way for you to change your life for the better by using passion. Passion needs to be a part of the ingredients. It needs to be a part of the plan, but there's not one right way to do that, which is why a book like Cal Newport's, not triggers because that's a strong word. That's why it grabs my attention, is that's not the only way. It is a way, but it's not the only way. And again, I'll write the book that doesn't sell very many copies because it's going to be open-ended. It's going to tell you what I just said today, but in a much more concise way with examples and encouraging and some ways that you can go do it yourself. But at the end of the day, there is a better life out there. There's more happiness out there. Notice that none of this centers around money. Money can be a part of it, but that's not what I'm after. Passion and living a life that makes you happy may be done on less money than you're used to today. And when you are living your true life, when you're authentic with who you are and what it is that you want, I think that some of those material possessions and those wants that society has told us we're supposed to strive for are become less important. And it's actually something that I'm noticing in my life that, the things that I have enjoyed over time, I'm realizing aren't that important. And maybe it's because I've had an opportunity to have them and experience that part of my life and realize it doesn't change anything. It's nice to have those things, but that's not important. That there's other things that I value more than that. And I can tell you that, but I believe that's one of those things you have to experience and learn on your own as well. So passion is obviously very, very important. I think that there is no right way to find the life that's right for you, other than you need to incorporate passion as a part of it. And whether you want to call it passion or you want to call it interest, I don't care how you define it. To me, passion is the things that make you happy, the things you love to do, the things you would do for free if you could do it all the time, the things you can't stop talking about. How do you incorporate more of that in your life and replace the things that you dread doing? It doesn't mean that those things that you don't enjoy fully removed from your life, but if you can minimize them and replace them with more things that you enjoy, I think that leads to more happiness. And a topic for another episode, maybe next week, maybe beyond, we'll see what the universe brings to me to talk about next week, is that yes, I saw a tweet, and actually I think it's going to be a piece that I found from a tweet in this week's newsletter. Passions will change over life. So I read that somebody said that you shouldn't follow your passions for your career because your passions are going to change. And to that I say, who says you have to do the same career for your entire life? That is a simulation. That is a matrix. That's something that we've been told we're supposed to do. But maybe you are supposed to go through chapters of your life, phases of your life where you are one version of yourself, and then a passion leads you down a new path and you go do something else. So it's okay for your passions to change. It's okay for your passions to dwindle over time. I don't think your passion today needs to be your passion 20 years down the road. It might. But again, I don't live in a world of absolutes. You may experience being this version of yourself for a period of time, and you grow and you outgrow that and you transcend up to another level, and you need to be a different version of yourself. And passion leads you down a different path. That's okay. Don't hold on to a passion if it begins to dwindle. It's okay for it to have a part of your life and then lead you to the next phase of life, the next chapter of life. Going back to Kendrick Lamar, there's beauty in completion and always faith in the unknown. Continue to follow your passion and let that be your guide. Obviously, you need to be responsible as you do that, and there is a way to bring my financial advisor hat to this conversation, which will happen over time. But you don't have to stick with one passion your whole life. And just because your passion may change and it may wane over time doesn't mean you shouldn't let it lead you for the next phase of your life. So to not follow your passion because your passions change over time, I think that's potentially bad advice as well. So you need to determine where passion fits into your life. You need to determine what your passions are, and you need to determine how you're going to let it guide you. But it should be a part of your guide. And look for signs like Eckhart Tolle was to me, or I saw bald eagles yesterday again flying around. I kid you not. I'm going to get a bald eagle tattoo. I just need to figure out where. But those have become extremely important to me at this phase of my life, and I want to document that, and I think it would look cool as a tattoo. So the bald eagle is my next tattoo whenever I get one, when I figure out where that's going to be going. All right. I think that's long enough. It's Friday. Kendrick Lamar's album's out. Go check it out. If you're lucky enough to have some beautiful weather, go outside and get some vitamin D. Uh, Leave the headphones off when you're outside and just take in what's going on and try to be more present. As I just kind of kicked off with Eckhart Tolle's book, highly recommend it. If you don't think it's right for you now, then maybe it's not. If you think it's right for you now, then give it a read. You trust your gut on whether or not that's a book you should be reading now. But again, much like The Alchemist and some other things I've read or listened to as of late, had I read that book a few years ago, I wouldn't be ready for it, and I would have missed out on it. And it came to me at the right time, confirmed by Kendrick Lamar. So, as always, I appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you joining me on my pursuit. I'm honored to be along on yours. And let us just keep pursuing. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in the next episode.